It's a somewhat grey and overcast morning here at Brands Hatch, but the action promises to be electric as we prepare for the sprint race. Let's get down to the grid with Lee McKenzie.
Nico, how are you feeling before the start of this sprint race?
Very good, very relaxed. I mean, we're coming here as the champions. You know, we of course we're trying to win, but we are relaxed. The pressure is on Robbie. He's in front of his home crowd trying to win, so I'm easy.
What does it mean for you to have that champions tag now, to be the world champion?
It means a lot. I mean, winning races, meaning winning championship. That's always what a driver is working for and wants to achieve. So that makes us very happy and proud.
Nico, have a great race. Willie Webber, thank you very much for joining us on the grid. You must be very proud of your boy here.
I am very proud about Nico, and he did a fantastic job the whole year. And I also must thank the team, David Sears and the crew, because they did also a fantastic job. Without them, we never achieve it.
In your eyes, how good is Nico as a driver?
How do I see Nico as a driver? Well, he has a lot of talent. He's a big talent. He's very, very quick. He needs to learn, and the future for him is hopefully Formula One.
Well, I hope your day goes well.
Yes, thank you very much. Thank you.
Well, Germany should be on for a good result. They start on the outside of the front row. Great Britain on pole, of course. It's France and Italy on the second row, and then India and Malaysia on row 3. Switzerland lines up 7th ahead of the Netherlands, but New Zealand way back on the grid for them. They're down in 9th with South Africa alongside. On the 6th row, we've got USA and Ireland. On row 6, China and Canada. And then on row 7, it's Portugal and Brazil. Towards the back now, we've got the Czech Republic and Australia on row 9. On the 10th row, Lebanon, and Moreno Soprapto making his debut for Indonesia. Juan Pablo Garcia, his debut for Mexico. And at the back of the 22-car field, it's Nur Ali for Pakistan. We're all set for the start of the sprint race here at Brands Hatch. It's Robbie Kerr on pole position for Team GBR. Nico Hülkenberg for the new champions, Germany on the outside of the front row, France and Italy behind, and then watch out for India and Malaysia on row 3. Away we go, and it's a good start from Robbie Kerr. Germany immediately cuts down into second place to make sure of second ahead of France. Italy holding on to 4th, Malaysia going around the outside, can't make it. Malaysia into 5th, Netherlands up to 6th ahead of India. India lost 1 place. Now can they get round Druids cleanly?
A very strong start from Nico Hülkenberg. He did a Michael Schumacher, went straight from left side of the track to the right to annex France. So it is Germany in second place, but Team GBR took full advantage of that start and control the race as they go out on their first lap of 15.
Interesting start by Hülkenberg. He was determined not to let France through. He was very aware of not letting the French car through. He really chopped over on him, but that was probably what he needed to do, and he's in second place now. So it's Great Britain, Germany, France, then Italy and Malaysia.
Ireland also started 12th up to 10th place, so good start. And wing damage to New Zealand, and it's going wrong for New Zealand. Can't get worse. They're in this battle for position in the championship, and now they're not going to score a point in this sprint race.
This is disaster for New Zealand. The Black Beauty's lost its front wing. He surely will be into the pits at the end of this lap, and it means he will start the feature race from the back. If they score no points and Great Britain win both races, Great Britain will snatch second place at the final meeting of A1GP. This is real drama, but look at India now pushing the Netherlands. You're riding with Narain Karthik. Kern, who loves this Brands Hatch circuit, and he's going to try and keep the pressure on wherever possible. Back down the hill they come towards Graham Hill Bend. Great Britain ended that first lap with a 3/4 of a second advantage over Germany. France in 3rd, Italy in 4th, and into the pits comes New Zealand.
Well, I can't imagine how bad can it get for New Zealand. That is car damage on Friday. That put them on the back foot. Here's the restart. But look, Robbie Kerr gets a great start. Nico Hülkenberg knew he had to block France. Loic Duval was trying to follow Robbie Kerr, but he left the gap for Hülkenberg and Germany to slot into. But where did that contact come with New Zealand? Did it come already in Paddock Hill Bend? But you can see blocking or holding the line going into Druids.
Maybe it was down to 30. Keep an eye on here. Yes, New Zealand tried to go down the inside of Ireland, and that's where it happened.
Well, there was never an opportunity. Ireland was covering the corner. Matt Halliday committed to it. He just couldn't get the speed off. That contact hit the right rear wheel of the Team Ireland car.
Team GBR leads from Germany in second place. The pressure on between the Netherlands and India. That's for 5th position or 6th position. Netherlands in 6th, India in 7th place as they all head towards Paddock Hill Bend once again, and Bleekemolen again holds it tight. Karthikeyan goes in deeper. Garcia from Mexico has spun.
Yes, out of Sterling's Bend, so he's going to go all through the gravel to try and get the car back onto the racetrack. Oh, he's digging gravel into the bottom of the car. Hopefully when he goes onto the racetrack, he doesn't just put the brakes on at the point on the exit of the corner. So waved yellow flags for the Mexican. Just a simple driving error from Juan Pablo Garcia.
Yeah, his debut in A1GP. The man has been racing in the national class of British F3 this year. He has got it back on track. Great Britain leads, Germany second. Still this gap opened a little bit to France in third, and then Italy, with Malaysia, the Netherlands and India all reasonably spaced out. South Africa well up there as well. South Africa running 8th. Switzerland in 9th place, and then Ireland in 10th place. And Mark Gallagher said if they could get in the top 10 with Ireland, they'd be pleased. It would put them in a good shape for the feature, and that's what Richard Lyons has done. He's
well,
in
the pace at the front, believe me, between Germany and Great Britain is very quick indeed. We think it's a cool morning. There's not much ambient or tire temperature, but they're running in the high 1 minute 14s. The next quickest lap is from France in a 1:16.5. So the pace of the front two cars way ahead of the rest.
Very quick indeed as they come around to complete another lap. And here we are, just riding on board Team USA behind Ireland. This is the battle for 10th place, on board with Jonathan Somerton, of course the man who had the accident in qualifying. Another little battle here between the Czech Republic and Australia. Ian Dyke for Australia having a little think about getting up the inside, but Jan Charuz of the Czech Republic covers it well.
You have no chance of getting down the inside of somebody into paddock unless you get alongside before you really get under the brakes, and Jan Charuz had the track. He covered it very well. Ian Dyke, you saw he had to go a little bit further out to the left in the corner than he would like, but clearly Australia's got more pace. Watch for the pass down the inside into Surtees. He looked like he was going to do it, but he then sort of thought about it and said, well, I'm not so sure I can get away with it.
Well, while that battle continues, let me tell you, there's bad news for the fans of Team China. China in trouble. They've actually come into the pits, and Frankie Cheng, we gather they've lost 4th gear on that car, so that's desperately disappointing. There is the China car being pushed back into the pit area, and that really is a huge disappointment for them.
So there's this battle continuing between the Czech Republic and 15th place Australia in 16th, up round Sheen Curve, and these two drivers are racing. We may not see a lot of racing going on at the front, but these two cars are, and they're not even in the point. Again, somebody's been kicking up the dust on the exit of Stirling's Bend as Ian Dyke continues to apply their pressure to the Czech Republic.
France had an off. It may have been them, John, because Italy has taken 3rd. Loic Duval ran wide somewhere. France is back to 4th.
Well, we think that would have been then up at Stirling's Bend, because the dust that we just saw as these two cars came through would have been a moment ago. There's Germany. France runs wide. Well, why did he do that? I suspect he got a touch of oversteer in the middle of the corner, kicks up gravel and dust, but gives them a position away easily to Enrico Toccocella, who's now taken 3rd place from France.
So Loic Duval will be kicking himself for that one. That looked like his own mistake there. It's dropped him to 4th. France now 4th, Malaysia 5th, the Netherlands in 6th, India 7th. Oh, and off
That's Pakistan. Yes, Noor Ali, who had been running in 18th place, and that is, well, it's coming into Druid's corner. He's clipped the rear wing, front wing of the car, in fact. So I suspect either contact or under braking, something's gone wrong.
Strange place to end up. Let's see what happened here. Came up the hill into Druids on the brakes somewhere. Oh, and I wondered what had happened, but that's very weird.
Yes, indeed. It looked like he got one brake grabbing more than the other, and the car turned pretty much left into the barrier. Noor Ali will be sitting there wondering, well, what was that all about? His father looks on from the garage, and well, Noor Ali is completely unhurt. In fact, the damage to the car is little more than a nose and a front wing. So that car will be removed behind the barriers to safety as Noor Ali walks away. And well, the only thing, he's just shaking his wrist. I wonder, did he get a crack on the wrist when that steering wheel maybe flipped quickly one way? Yeah, could have done. He hit the barrier pretty hard. He locked the rear brakes to turn the car left, which is not exactly what you want going into a hairpin right. And that was a bit of a nasty incident for Noor Ali. Great Britain leads by 1.8 seconds here in the sprint race. 10 laps to go. Germany running second. Italy in third, having got past France after the mistake from Loic Duval. Look at the gap between Germany and Italy. It's between 6.5 seconds, and that was as they went across the line after 5 laps. Further behind, with France trying to claw back, 1.3 seconds behind. Italy with Malaysia further 1.2 seconds behind. Ireland still running in 10th place in that battle with Switzerland, but with pressure coming from Jonathan Somerton in the USA car. This is definitely one of the closest battles, isn't it, between Ireland. You're looking back from Richard Lyons' car straight at the Team USA entry, Jonathan Somerton. Somerton has been very quick here all weekend, but he crashed in qualifying and therefore ended up 11th on the grid. And now he's trying to make the most of what has been a rapid car in the last few meetings. Shanghai he was fast, Mexico he was second to Oliver Jarvis in the feature race, but here it's going to be hard work for Jonathan Somerton to get past Team Ireland. Well, Ireland have had another weekend where they couldn't really put a finger on where the problem with the car was they made some changes for qualifying, and with the new tyres then they did find some time. Richard Lyons now in the top 10, and again really having to fight on the back foot rather than from the front foot.
So into Druids they come. The leaders are already out on the Grand Prix loop. Robbie Kerr really controlling this race at the moment. A very useful 2.2 second lead over Germany. He seems to have the edge over Team Germany in terms of pace, but for USA they're just looking at the monitors, hoping that Somerton is going to be able to get them into the points here. Well, not quite the points. Of course, they're only playing down to 6th in this race, down to 10th in the feature race. Switzerland on the power boost there. They're chasing South Africa, but it didn't really help them too much. And you're watching Portugal there. They're in 13th place behind Canada. There's Sean McIntosh just ahead.
And Alvaro Parent in the Portugal car for this event, coming out of his own race series and having again the difficulty of adapting from one style of single-seater race car to the A1GP car. And of course, if you're used to different levels of grip, tyre grip, downforce, braking, whatever, the readaptation does take time. And I think the Portuguese team feel by the time he's finished the feature race, he's about ready to start the whole session all over again.
Well, disconsolate look on the face of Kong Fu Cheng, Frankie Cheng out of the race early on. Let me just tell you that New Zealand, having made that pit stop, haven't made a lot of progress as you'd expect really. They're down in 19th position, way outside of getting into a top 10 starting position for the feature race, and New Zealand really have got a battle on their hands here today. Well,
there's some 17.5 seconds behind Indonesia in 18th place, so maybe that would give them one extra grid position advantage, but 17.5 seconds and we've got 8 laps to go. It's virtually 2 and a bit seconds per lap.
Look at this, Switzerland.
Yes, Switzerland and South Africa.
Switzerland trying to get alongside South Africa up towards Hawthorns. It's a fast section of track here. Hardly any braking, but now he's quick out of that corner as well. And Adrian Zaug for Team South Africa is having to watch his mirrors very closely. It's a great performance by Sebastian Buemi for Switzerland, but can he find a way past?
Well, he clearly got a good drive out of Surtees Bend onto this long main straight. But when it came to coming up to Hawthorns Bend, there really is only one way to go through that corner, and you have to protect your line going into it. You don't want to be compromised. We saw what happened to Jonathan Somerton last time in qualifying when he got it wrong there. So this battle, which is for 8th place South Africa and Switzerland, Sebastian Buemi, who is coming off the back of a success in Formula 3 last weekend.
Look,
and he's going down the inside.
Fantastic side-by-side stuff. There's a touch. There's another touch. They're off into the gravel. My goodness, they were so fortunate.
And damage to Switzerland's left front. South Africa has survived. Switzerland is out. And I've never seen 2 single-seater cars go round Pedicle Bend, wheels interlocked. Inevitably there was contact. How that contact didn't occur earlier, I don't know, but Buemi really took a big lunge down the inside to get himself almost into position to take that 8th place away from South Africa. Let's look at it again. How he gets so far up so late in the brakes, but then South Africa pulls over. The cars are literally interlocking, wheels all the way around, smoke coming off the side of the bodywork. Then they lock and they just go off together, and the damage is to the left front of Switzerland, and South Africa relatively undamaged other than bodywork, scarring on the side of the bodywork. But look how far behind Buemi was able to come to get into position, almost take that corner, but always half a car's length advantage. 1 bang, 2 bangs, then they're sort of married as they go off into the gravel, then they separate, and then South Africa able to get back on track, but has lost considerable ground.
They were so fortunate not to flip over one another on the wheels there, John, because normally single-seaters interlocking like that, one gets thrown in the air.
I mean, I was thinking not another Italy-Lebanon situation. Look, in the Swiss garage they're saying, the emotions that they've gone through to see Sebastian Buemi stop, and there he is, the damage. You can see the front suspension, that arm that's got the bow in it, and that's the steering arm. In fact, the car's running away. He can't stop it. He needs the marshals to control the car. Of course, as a neutral, the best thing is to let the car run down and park it just round the corner. But in the meantime, there will be a waved yellow flag at the exit at the bottom of Pedicle Bend, so nobody must go quickly through that area, or they will be in penalty time. Well,
let's remind you what this means is that Ireland are now up into 8th place. We've lost those 2 ahead, so Ireland are now 8th, USA 9th, and Canada in 10th place. So a lot of movement, of course, with 2 cars going out of the top 10. It's given others some opportunities. Of course, it's also brought New Zealand up into 18th. That incident is under investigation. It looked to me, I mean, I don't know what you think, John. I know he was on the power boost, so he used the power boost, Team Switzerland, coming up to paddock, and he thought, well, I'm really going to go for this. It was a great attempt by Buemi, and in fact Zaug then tried to give him room once he realised. It just seemed one of those things.
Yeah, for me, that incident, I would call that a racing incident, because the opportunity was offered up to Switzerland. Bohemi took it. That contact that occurred was inevitable, but the fact is that the driver who was marginally ahead, that was South Africa. While he has lost overall position, Switzerland are the ones that have lost the most because they're out of this race. And I would put that one down to just simply two drivers racing for position, and the opportunity was opened up by South Africa for Switzerland to go down the inside, and I would leave it there and just say, look guys, think about it, dangerous part of the racetrack to perform that kind of act, don't do it again, and off you go.
Well, we're looking further down the top 10 here. Ireland still in 8th place, USA 9th, Canada 10th, then Portugal 11th, Brazil 12th, South Africa, of course, still running actually. They are in 13th place, so Adrian Zhao did survive the incident, unlike Team Switzerland. So Zhao now down in 13th position, Czech Republic 14th, Australia in 15th.
Well, there is Brazil, just ahead of Portugal, so this is a battle that's going on for just outside the top 10. Portugal 11, Brazil 12. South Africa is running on the tail of that group, so will Adrian Zhao be fired up, or will he be just totally, well, I can't really say what I would like to say.
So 4 laps to go. Race leader Team GBR has an advantage of over 4 seconds now over Germany. Italy still in a strong 3rd place. France in 4th. Malaysia and the Netherlands are chasing. We've got this race going on slightly further back. There you are with Malaysia and Netherlands with the 4 laps, under 4 laps to go now. This is pretty close between these three. And remember, Malaysia and Netherlands are fighting for 5th place in the overall points. Switzerland was a part of that battle, but as we've seen, Switzerland's gone out of the race.
Yes, and also the other race that we expected to see, and that was with New Zealand trying to get into the bottom of the point scoring position. Well, they got taken out by a move down the inside on the Team Ireland car. So two nations that were battling either to consolidate or to improve are out of the points in the sprint race.
Yeah, so it's all changed, and the final points certainly won't be settled until we get to the end of the feature race today. Riding on board with Jeroen Bleekemolen for the Netherlands through this wonderful section in the woodlands of Kent, plunging downhill here as he comes down the dip at Dingledale, up again into the blind right-hander at Sheen Curve, almost lining himself up on the treetops to get the line right, and then through the left-hander at Stirling's.
Well, just keep an eye on Noreen Carthagena. He's getting closer and closer to the tail of the Netherlands car. He wants to finish in that 6th place, get one more point for India. He needs to get a little bit closer. The Netherlands are still sufficiently quick, and off that Clearways Clark curve and on to Brabham Straight, the climb up into Paddock Bend. So the best chance probably will come into Druids, but he needs to get closer than he is right now as they exit the bottom of Bottom Hill Bend.
We've got some traffic. Oh, we got Lebanon off. Lebanon, that's
up at Sheen. That's up at Sheen Curve.
Yeah, the fast right-hander in the Woodlands, and it's Alam Kodair who's gone off. He's had a bit of a troubled weekend. He had an off into the wall at Druids earlier on this weekend. Had an incident on the Friday afternoon as well, and that's going to cause the yellow flags up at that section. I doubt if they'll bring a safety car out at this stage, but you never know.
No, I think that the car is sufficiently off track as we see that that's the Mexico car just going back in. It's the battle. This is a lap car. Suddenly that car gets in between the Netherlands and India. India will want that car to get out of the way as quickly as possible, and it's not. So Mexico really, Juan Pablo Garcia getting in the way, and I don't think it'll be a very happy Noreen Carthagena. He's lost past part of a second and a half, and that 2-corner incident, he had to wait. He couldn't be sure that he was going to be allowed through. There we see, well, Alam Kodair really lost the car. He was too far over to the left on his approach up into Sheen Curve and was on the dirty part of the track. And when he turned the wheel, the car just swapped ends.
Just 2 laps to go now, and Robbie Kerr is on the verge of making history in A1GP. The host nation has never won on its home soil before, but Robbie Kerr could be the first to do it. For Team GBR, he's got a very healthy lead, 5.4 seconds. It's a massive advantage in a sprint race.
Well, it means nothing in terms of you could be finished 1 second or 50 seconds, doesn't matter, it's where you finish. And I think that Germany have decided, and I think they're using a little bit of strategy and probably a bit of brain power as well. We're going to be a second place. We've been second from the first lap. All you have to do is bring the car home. Don't overuse your tyres. Don't do anything. Just bring the car home safely. Italy is a further 6 seconds behind in 3rd place, so no pressure really on the top 3. And for Robbie Kerr, it has been really the ideal start to an afternoon's work here at Brands Hatch, controlling the race from the lights going out up until we are coming up to the conclusion of 2 laps to go. One more lap at the end of this one.
That's right, Robbie Kirby coming through Clearways and onto the Brabham Straight now, and it's the last lap started by Team GBR with a very, very healthy advantage. There's France They made that mistake early on, and that's going to cost them a podium place. They dropped to 4th position, but they're still way ahead of Malaysia, who's running in 5th, and then the Netherlands in 6th. There is that group, Malaysia, Netherlands and India, still very much a part of that. India in 7th, and again I think India's going to be frustrated in trying to score a point in the sprint race. They seem to like 7th place a little too often. You only get a point down to 6th in the sprint race, and India haven't achieved that yet.
Karthikeyan's closed right back up to the tail, and the Netherlands car ran wide on the exit, so there's still hope for Narain Karthikeyan. That under pressure, maybe Jeroen Bleekemolen for the Netherlands will succumb, but we're 1/3 of the way around. Robbie Kerr out at Westfield Bend on his last lap of this 15-lap sprint race.
Well, it's been an absolutely perfect drive from Robbie Kerr for Team GBR. He won his first race in A1 a couple of weeks ago in Shanghai. He's now just got one more corner to finish, and at the track where Nigel Mansell took his first ever Grand Prix win back in 1985, Great Britain becomes the first host nation to win in A1GP. Robbie Kerr makes new records. He wins here at the sprint race at Brands Hatch. Second place will go to Team Germany, and the champions of A1 in this second season could not match Team GBR in the sprint race, but they'll be back to fight in the feature, and 3rd place goes to Italy.
Well, this was all about Team GBR and Robbie Kerr. That pole position really sealed the outcome, as we see 4th, 5th and 6th going 5th, 6th and 7th. So India outside of the points, top 6 only count for points in this sprint race.
It's a tremendous day for Team GBR, record setting.
Team Great Britain, the first ever team to win the home race.
Simon, I can't tell you how good this feels. It was fantastic. I mean, yesterday was electrifying. And
Listen to that crowd.
what a fantastic day. What a fantastic result. And we're going to be on ball again for the feature.
Great. Sorry, Tony. Great result. Go and congratulate Robbie.
Thank you.
The cars are into Parc Fermé, and Robbie Kerr just about to leap out of his car, having taken his second wheel. Oh, don't lose the car now, Robbie. He doesn't come out too much. There's someone there to stop the car running away, and it's time to jump up and celebrate and wave to the fans across on the other side of Brabham Straight. He's getting a tremendous reception, and that's quite right too. He celebrates the first home nation to take victory in A1GP, and he certainly saved the best till last this season, hasn't he? Winning in Shanghai that sprint race. Now he's done it here at Brands Hatch, one of his favourite circuits. He's had much success over the years at this Brands Hatch circuit in Kent, and now probably his biggest win. Look at the points. Great Britain now in with a shout at 2nd place in the points, only 8 separating New Zealand and GBR. That will only be decided after the feature race here this afternoon. Well, the presentations are being made by John Surtees. Of course, he's team principal for GBR, but he was chosen to make these presentations before they knew what the result would be. But surely this is a special moment for John Surtees to award the gold medal to Robbie Kerr after success here at Brands Hatch, John Surtees' own home circuit, effectively. Look at that, what a moment.
Robbie Kerr, the first team to win their home A1GP. How does that feel?
It's absolutely fantastic, and it's great to do it in front of the British public. You know, I've been supportive all the way through the weekend, and they've come out and they're massives today, and it's been great support. Plenty of red, white and blue in the crowd, and now we've just got to go out and do it again in the feature.
Robbie, congratulations. Nico Hülkenberg, Team Germany. What about race pace for this afternoon? Do you think you've got a good chance of spoiling this British party?
Still, we have a bit work to do. We saw Robbie is quite quick on the long run as well, so we're trying to find something and then to have a good battle.
Nico, well done. And Team Italy, Enrico Torricello back on the podium. What was it like for you out there, because you were sitting in 4th until France ran wide?
Yeah, well, I'm happy for this result, and then I was behind the France went out in the corner, he brake maybe too late, and then he came back, but I was much faster than him, so overtook him.
So here's the result of the sprint race. Great Britain takes the victory from Germany and Italy. Behind them, France 4th, Malaysia 5th ahead of the Netherlands and India. Ireland finished in 8th, up from 12th on the grid. USA finished 9th, and Canada finished in 10th position, courtesy of Sean McIntosh. Just outside the top 10, Portugal finished in 11th place, and behind them we had Brazil and South Africa Czech Republic finished in 14th ahead of Australia, and poor old New Zealand, they lost that front wing early on in the race and they recovered to finish in 16th place, but that's where they'll start the feature. They finished ahead of Indonesia and Mexico. Out of the race went Lebanon, Switzerland and Pakistan and China with a gearbox problem, but Great Britain did get the fastest lap.